Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets which are available to download in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about books that I've written. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best be prepared for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel and share out the videos. And now we're going to complete the 2019 practice paper B. So if you turn with me to page 10, we can crack on with that. So, as I always say, and I know I'm repeating myself, but do try this on your own first of all. Always work in pencil, then it doesn't matter if you go wrong, you can just erase that and have another go. You'll learn much more thoroughly by making a few mistakes than just by passively copying it through with me. So I'm hoping you've had a go. So let's look at the first question here. So all of the questions are going to be relating back to this little melody here. So is it true or is it false that the melody begins on the third beat of the bar? Let's have a look at this then. So we're told that there are 3 minim beats, 3 half notes per bar. But here we've only got 1 minim beat or 1 half note beat worth here. The remaining 2 beats are at the end of the extract. So we have an anacrusis or an upbeat. So it is indeed true because beats 1 and 2 are made up at the end. This is beat 3 of the bar, so that is true. The reason a musician will write that is so that the accent falls in the place. The first beat of the bar is always the strongest, and so he wants the accent to fall on this note here and a 1 there. Moving on. Is it true or is it false that every complete bar in this melody contains at least 1 note? So not necessarily all of them, but at least 1 note of the tonic triad of B minor. Well, before we go looking, let's think about what we're looking for. So the tonic triad is built up of the first, the third, and the fifth. So if we're in B minor, number 1 is B, D is 3, F is 5. Now, of course, it's F sharps, but your key signature will deal with that. So is it true or is it false that every bar, every complete bar, has at least a B, a D, or an F sharp? So let's have a look. We're in the bass clef. So we have a B, so we don't need to look further. That's 1 note at least. We have a D here, so we don't need to look any further. That's at least 1 note. Here we have a B. We have a D and a B, but that B does the job. Let's carry on. Here we have an F, F sharp because of your key signature, so that's okay. First note's a B, we don't need to look any further because that's at least 1 note. There's an F, so that's at least 1 note, we don't need to worry any further. There's a D, so that's okay. No need to look further. There's a B. So yeah, it's true. Every bar, every complete bar as well. Well, that isn't a complete bar, so I don't suppose we needed to look there or there, but the point remains true. Now then, how many times does the 7th degree of the scale of B minor occur in this melody? So again, let's just think about what we're looking for first of all. So let's count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Now, of course, it's F sharps and C sharps, but your key signature will deal with that. However, the big clue to spotting this 7th degree easy peasy at first is because the 7th degree of the scale is raised. So we're looking for an accidental on the A to make an A sharp for starters. So let's see how many times we find an A sharp. So here's 1, here's 2, here's another one, 3. Now watch out, this is still A sharp 4 here, because remember that accidental sign is still active to the end of the bar until the bar line cancels it, so don't forget that one there. Let's have a look. So there's no A sharps here or here. Here's one, so there's number 5, and then again that is still A sharp, so 6. There are 6, so we get 6 examples of the 7th degree of the scale. So the next one, give the letter name of the highest note in the melody. So let's just scan through, look for the highest note. Remember, we're in the bass clef, so this is the highest. Yep, this is the highest one. So think about it, this is middle C, so one note above middle C is D. However, if you're not sure, if you lose your bearings a little bit, we know the bass clef goes good boys deserve football always. A, B, C, D. We'll get there that way. Or you could count down the octave 1, 2, counting the given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which takes us to this one, and we know it goes good boys deserve. So there's a number of ways you can get to that. However you get to it though, the answer is D. And you always use capital letters, remember, for writing note names. So now we are asked, complete this sentence. So the triplet in bar 7, however, wherever it is, the principle remains the same, means 3 crotchets or 3/4 notes in the time of, so you could say 3 crotchets in the time of 2 crotchets, or you could say quarter notes if you prefer that terminology, or you could just sort of extrapolate the maths a little bit further, and the same principle is 1 minim or 1/2 note. The principle remains the same, 3 in the time of 2 crotchets or 1 minim, or the other terminology to suit you. There we go. So now last question. We're given a blank stave at the top of the page, and we're asked to write out the melody from the beginning of bar 5 to the end of the music. Just be careful we're doing the right bit. And we're asked to use notes and rests of half the value. So we're going to have to change the time signature, and we're going to have to beam notes accordingly to that new time signature. So then let's see what we've got here. So we've done a little bit of that thinking already. We're in 3 beats in a bar, so we must stay in triple time, so still 3 beats in a bar. But here we are in 3 minim beats, 3 half notes per bar, and so to do everything of half the value, we change the unit value to 3/4 notes per bar, and so we're asked to add the time signature here where the star is. I know that normally in the middle of a piece you wouldn't have your time signature, but we're changing the time signature, so we need to add that. So 3/4 is our new time signature. So before we get bogged down with too much thinking, I'm just going to sort of prepare everything. I'm going to write my bar lines aligned with theirs, just so I don't get lost, and also I know that I'll be spacing things correctly. And now I'm just going to do a little bit of thinking before I get writing away, because I need to know if I'm colouring note heads in or not. So half the value makes a crotchet or a quarter note into a quaver or an 1/8 note. This minim or half note is going to be coloured in. A crotchet rest, a quarter note rest, becomes a quaver or an 1/8 note rest. These will have to have another beam on to make those into 16th notes or semiquavers. This will become a dotted quaver, so we need to put a tail on that. We're going to be beaming that. That's going to have an extra tail on, so we're going to be beaming those. So that becomes dotted quaver, semiquaver. This is going to become a dotted quaver, dotted 1/8 note, to halve that. And then this rest here Just as we add an extra beam on the notes, we'll have to have an extra arm on it to make it into a semiquaver rest, a 16th note rest. That will become a quaver rest, an 8th note rest. These will have another beam to make them semiquavers or 16th notes. And then again, these will all be beamed. We'll have to think about which way the stems are going. So they'll become tripleted quavers or 8th notes. We shall beam these, and that needs an extra beam. So it's like adding a little tail on, but we're beaming it to make that a dotted quaver semiquaver. These will have to have an extra beam, and that will have a tail on it to make that into a quaver. So they've become semiquavers now and quaver, and then this will become a minim or a half note, so we'll just pop a stem on that. So we've done the thinking, so now I'm just going to get the note heads in the right place, just so that I can keep a track on everything that's going on. I don't want to get lost. I know I can colour that in now. That will become a quaver rest. You can do this in any order you like. I just prefer to take things one step at a time. So we're going to have some decisions to make about stems as well, which way they go. That's it, yeah. So I'm just copying out now really. I've done all my thinking. So dot that. And because I've kept things reasonably in step with their example, I'm not losing track where I am. Got enough to be thinking about without that. So now we can do the stems and the beams. So these stems are coming down. These two will be beamed together to show a crochet beat, because we've got to reflect each new crochet beat. Each beat needs to be shown with a new beam. So there's beat 1, there's beat 2, beat 3, so these two will go together to complete beat 3. So now we have 3/4 of a beat and a quarter, so they will be beamed together to show beat 1. Oops, that went a bit wonky. By all means use a ruler, just trying to be a little bit quicker here. So this is beat 2, which is completed with the rest, so that doesn't beam to anything. We complete beat 3 by beaming those. Now new bar. So here's beat 1. So because these are below the middle line, this one is going to have to just flip the stem for the sake of these two. Now they're beamed together, and so we'll put a triplet sign there. There's beat 1. This is beat 2, 3/4 of a beat and a quarter. And then here we have 2/4 of a beat and a half of a beat. So all of these will be beamed together. A lot of thinking involved here. It's worth just taking things one step at a time, and then we just finish with a stem. And it looks weird here at the end because we're thinking there should be 3 beats in a bar. There's only 2 beats there. But remember, it's an anacrusis. The upbeat is at the start of the music. So there we go. That's that question completed. And that's that exam paper completed. I do hope that's helpful to you. I hope it's helping you with your studies. These past exam practice papers are a super revision resource, and they're well worth working through. I hope that I'm helping you to do that. If you can give me a like, that would be great. And please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated, and do share out the videos. And please do visit sharonbill.com and have a browse around all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.